Hello and welcome to another Let's Play. Me, GamerWolfSix of Echo. Before we start, if you're interested in playing this game, you can get it for free on itch.io. But if you want to support people that make this game, or made it, and are making other games, then you can go through Patreon. It's $3 a month. So, on the last Let's Play, we went with Kudzu to go film a pump. And then while Kudzu went to go pick up some batteries for me, we heard some yagging and found Clint in the woods or brush with a rope around his neck. I'm not sure if he was clothed or not, but then a naked big bear came and we yeeted out of that situation because I guess Clint was paying off his drug dealer in a certain way. Yeah. Hopefully that will not come back to bite us in the bum. So let's reorient our face. And start. Oh yeah, and we came to the diner. Leo's not in the diner when I get there. I pick a booth towards the back, resting my head against the patchy cushions, and closing my eyes. The week's gone by so fast. I feel like only yesterday that I actually got here. Thinking back, I remember worrying that everything was going to be awkward, that our past would catch up in the worst way possible. And it kind of did. We didn't fix or talk about anything. That gives me jolts of realization and sadness. The whole time, I'd been so preoccupied with Leo, and Leo with me. Wasn't Leo the one that was all concerned about us not keeping the pack together? This send-off feels empty and pointless. It's really the last time I might get to hang out with some of them, mainly Jenna and TJ. Don't they go to the same college we do? Maybe I missed that part. I mean, we did have him in our car driving into Echo, because Carl's the one that's here, Flint's the one that's here, and Leo, but Jenna and TJ? I thought they were with us. And TJ had the most shits to air out. Did I fuck up by basically ignoring him this whole time? I mean, we didn't ignore him on purpose. I feel a lump in my throat as I think about the hike. I never went on with him. I mean, again, to be fair, you're aquatic. You're an otter. Tiny little leggies. Hiking in the deserts. No bueno. Sure, I'd figure things out with Leo, at least temporarily. Very temporarily, actually. Already, things are in jeopardy again. But now, it feels like things I should have talked about with the others have been buried further. Even though I haven't seen the others in a few days, I can feel their resentment, knowing that Leo and I got what we wanted. Or at least, I thought I got what I wanted. Especially after leaving them to deal with the fallout of Flynn's meltdown. And now, because of that, it'll be harder to reach the root of the problem. Harder to talk about it. Are we talking about the death in our friend group? And because of that, we probably never will. I glance at my dead phone, reminded of the complete lack of text from anyone other than Leo. And I can see an otter face in there. That's a nice little bit of extra. I suppose this is life. Sometimes things are buried and never talked about again. And in a way, I guess that's for the best. Sydney's death will die with us. Because I did it! Oh, you can even see little eyes right here and here, and a nose and a soul patch, because it was the 2000s or something. It just sucks that we'll carry it, but can't rely on each other for support. Like, is there a way that we can actually talk about it without, I don't know, somebody dying? I mean, I don't know what this path is going to entail, but you know. I take a deep breath, wondering how long it will take me to process this whole trip. Or maybe my entire life up to this moment. It's at this point that I notice Janice hasn't come up to take my order. The diner itself is completely quiet. No old rockabilly coming over the staticky speakers. Rockabilly? I look around, wondering if maybe the place is closed. I remember a few businesses didn't lock their doors, mostly because of negligent employees because burglary is somewhat common here. Grammar. I look through the plastic window in the swing door of the kitchen, past the counter, and notice that the fluorescent lights are definitely on. In fact, it looks like I can see movement from the shadows on the wall. I think about getting up and knocking on the door to let them know I'm here, but that's when the front door pushes open. Leo comes in, a big grin on his face. Chula. My stomach twists as he sweeps up to the side, and I can't help but jerk it away when he kisses at my cheek. He pulls back frowning. Chase? I sigh, not able to meet his eyes. Leo, I need to talk to you about something. Immediately, I can see the worry in his eyes. He steps back, watching me. What? Sit down. Why? Leo asks, but sits down anyway. First off, I have to tell him that I looked at his fucking phone, and that's bad enough. I mean, if you're willing to lie, you could always say, hey, I was wondering why my friends weren't contacting me, but they said you said that I was busy or something like that. That's a good way, that's a decent way to spin it. Because A, your phone's, out of battery, so he couldn't check if he was interested. And, he would have to check with others, I guess. I don't know. But still, it's like, chulita. I look to the right, heart pounding. Otter, what is it? His voice is soft, but I can hear a slight tremble in it. Leo, I looked at your phone. What? I jump as Leo's hackles rise and he bares his teeth. It's on an angry expression, more defensive, fearful. Leo. Why the fuck would you do that? Because it's a video game, that's why. I shrink back, looking down as I listen to his breathing pick up. I'm sorry, but you know what I saw. Fuck, man. Leo puts his face in his hands, which gives me an opportunity to look up. His ears are down, drooping towards the table. Why did you do that? I wait till Leo continues to hide his face, his body rocking. Not now. Not now what? You can't do this to me now. Not after... I didn't do anything. You're the one texting people that I don't give a fuck about them. His head snaps up. Then, I can see his eyes glistening. I didn't say that. Just said you were busy. And what you said to TJ? Leo winces at that one, and he slips back in his booth, face dejected, desperate. Please, Chase, just try to understand. What? I let some anger into my voice, wanting to show Leo that I'm not going to forgive him just because he's sad. And I think he realizes that because his face changes, lips bared out in anger this time. Yeah, I'm real fucking guilty, aren't I? Yeah, you are. Says the asshole that just ditches me, avoids me, won't talk to me. I don't say anything in response. And you wonder why I fucked up about this? You're the one that just walked out and left me. Why I'm fucked up. Okay. I was young. Yeah, you keep saying that, like you're not young now. If you had actually dumped me, then maybe I wouldn't be so fucking messed up about it. The last sentence escalates into a scream, and I flatten back into the booth, glaring up at him. Leo had never hurt me before, and I'm not afraid he will now. I've endured plenty of his tantrums. You know how crazy this makes you look? Oh great, you too? I'm serious. This is fucking unacceptable. I'm drawing a line here. Leo's snarling face turns up, and that's when I hear movement behind me. I turn my seat to see Janice striding out from behind the counter, kitchen door swinging shut behind her. Janice? Leo's fur flans back down, like he's forgotten all about our argument. It makes sense why. Something's wrong. Janice has been acting strange all week, even though we've only seen her, once or twice? Gradually looking more haggard and pissed off as time went on. I mean, I guess he did come here and he slammed Clint in the table. Of course, I hadn't forgotten what happened back on the side of the road a few days back. Oh yeah, and then there's that. Last time we met Janice on Leo's, TJ's route, she was like, I really need to talk to you guys about something, and she was like all tearful and sad. And then we never, communicated with her, which left lots of questions. Though she wasn't high on the list of things. But it had been consistent with just assuming it had been some type of drug-fueled adventure of hers. Now I'm convinced she's having a mental breakdown. Well, she doesn't look that bad. She just looks neutral-ish. Her fur is mussed up on every inch of her body. Her eyes are wild and wide, similar to how I'd seen Clint earlier. Like, she looks kind of better than she usually does, just saying. Blood is smeared across her apron, and the handle of a knife sticks out of the pocket. Okay, well, didn't see any blood there right now. Janice, are you okay? Leo's half standing. I'm not sure if it's because he's afraid of her or of her. She doesn't say anything, and as she slides up next to her booth, I slide a bit towards the inside. Under her wild gaze, I'm feeling a little trapped. Janice? Why all the shouting? A little impatient. Well, let me take your order. I'll get you started. It'd be kind of funny, just like, what? I'm preparing meat in the background. You know this is a diner. Like I'm doing ribs. There's gonna be a bit of blood. Seriously, what's up with you guys? Chulitas? Are you okay? Are you cooking? Leo gazes at her apron. Yes, I'm cooking today. What can I make you? I get an unnerving feeling that she isn't even looking at us. Well, she is sitting in the booth, which is a bit weird, I guess. I'd like french fries. Hold the blood. Leo glances back at me, which I respond with a bewildered look at my own. You know, I think we might... Nonsense. I've got everything fired up in the kitchen. Leo doesn't respond. Just stares at the big coyote. Janice smiles crookedly. Well, if you're not going to order something, then I'll just make your favorite. With that, she turns and starts waddling off, having not even acknowledged me. What the fuck? I reach into my pocket, thinking about calling an ambulance for the poor woman until I remember my dead phone. I whisper over to Leo. Should we leave? Maybe. But Leo doesn't move, just stares after Janice. I look out the window to the sun-baked road. Have you noticed that something's off? Or something's off? About Janice? No shit. Not just her. The whole town. I think about mentioning the meadow with Clint and Brian, but I'm still trying to absorb that myself. So, from what I know from, the end of this game of TJ's route, there's supposedly that something happens, not sure if at the very end of this game, or sometime between Echo and Arches, the sequel that you play a little bit at the end of this game. But, you know, the end of TJ's was pretty crazy. Leo sits back, still looking back in the kitchen door where Janice disappeared. Honestly, people act so crazy around here. I don't know if it's because of drugs or because they're actually crazy. I see his nose twitch. And I don't think she knows how to cook. Something smells funny in there. I look back out the window, wondering if I should bring up our argument again. That scene with Janice totally threw me off, and I'm reluctant to waste more energy on yelling. It has to be brought up again somehow. We can't just let this sit. I clear my throat. It's clear that that's exactly what Leo wants, though. So I huff and stare at the window. This fucking town. I haven't been paying much attention to it in the past few days, being too infatuated with Leo. Sure, I'd seen some weird things, but it seems in my absence, everyone's gone to the fucking wacky shack. I look at Leo. Have you been noticing any of this weird shit going on? Leo sighs. Again, I never know what's weird or not here. I guess I've noticed a few things. I frown. Were you just hoping I wouldn't notice? Leo doesn't say anything. Instead, he just goes on staring at the kitchen. Wouldn't he really just let me blindly move to this town where he knew everyone was going crazy? Looking out the window, I notice a figure moving up the street. Jogging. A feline? TJ? Is that Tej? Leo glances out the window. Looks like it. Out for a jog, of course. The wolf turns his attention back to the counter as Janice comes out, a bit messy, dribbling milkshake in her hand. Hey Janice, what are you cooking back there? I glance at the crazy coyote as she wobbles over to us, staring at the milkshake with wide eyes. Oh, you know, meat. Leah lets out a hollow laugh. What kind of meat? I'll be honest with you, it's a bit tough and stringy. I lose interest in the conversation, instead look back out at TJ. I feel like something's off for sure. He's a ways away, but he looks kind of afraid. One of his hands reaches out to bat at something. Something's wrong. I mutter it under my breath and start to sit on getting out there to see what's going on with him. But at that moment, a truck pulls into the parking lot right in front of our window. I find myself staring right at Duke. I also see something big in the back of the pickup. A brown, furried head peeking over the roof. Duke. Leo snaps his head over to look out the window. As the weasel gets out of his truck, I see something in his hand. A gun. Shit. Language, Leo. He's bringing in a gun. Leo reaches across the table for me. Not while I'm here. Janice. But she's already striding over the doors, just as Duke pushes through them. Chase, get down! But Duke spots us immediately. I told you not to fucking run away from me. He starts towards our table, but Janice, on her way towards the kitchen, intercepts him. Duke, is that a gun? I'm not gonna have you barging in here to ruin the peace. Also, I guess this isn't Texas, it's supposed to be Arizona, so that's kind of off. She sticks her bulky body in the way. Doesn't look exactly bulky. Get the fuck out of my way, cunt. Language. It's as if Janice doesn't notice that there's a fucking gun being waved around right in front of her face. I reach out to grab Leo's arm, trying to pull him down. Call the police. My phone's dead. Leo slowly sits, then looks around. The only exit is at the front. We're trapped. You don't think those fuckers are behind all this? You've been seeing that otter around too, haven't you? I'm not concerned with that anymore. I've made things right. You're not fucking concerned that what's happened to our grandparents is happening to us? I won't ask you to leave again. Her voice is threatening. From this angle, I can't see her hands, but I can see she's reaching for something. Oh my god. Chase! Chase! Get down! Lee's voice is brazenly calm, okay? It's kind of hard to do the voices, well, not really voices, but inflections when you don't know what it is. But as he reaches over to me, I can feel him shake. He presses down my shoulder, and as I'm about to slide under the table, I see Janice move forward. Then I cover my head and cower against the booth under the table. Leo shouts and yanks me up against the side, covering me in his arms. I hear him breathe heavily into my ear, and I stare wide-eyed under the booth, only able to see the dirty, beige wall opposite of us. Leo's breathing is all I can hear, otherwise it's silent. Then I hear Duke muttering something under his breath, followed by soft, padding footsteps. A few seconds later, his legs come into view, and his feet turn to face us. I see the gun dangling from one hand before he raises it slightly, pointing it at us. I close my eyes. How'd this happen? Just seconds ago, Leo and I were arguing, and now I'm about to fucking die. I open my eyes tightly. I keep my eyes tightly closed, hugging to Leo as hard as I can, and wait. But nothing happens. I keep my face pressed into Leo's chest, though wondering if I'm already dead. Finally, Duke speaks. Leo, out. Otter, you stay there. I feel Leo hesitate against me. Then his lips press against my ear. It'll be okay, baby. Just stay here. Slowly, he untangles my arms around him. Then, with his hands up, he pushes out from under the table and stands up. Face the wall. Leo hesitates and Duke growls. I ain't gonna fucking tell you. We're just figuring out what's happening is all. Killing you doesn't fix anything. The last guy got killed, and that didn't fix shit. You shot Janice. 'Cause she got in my fucking way. But it doesn't matter. Everything's fucked up now. Leo turns to face the wall slowly. I watch from the space between the table and the booth. What do you want? To fix this fucking town. You're starting something with this otter. This has all happened before. Duke looks out the window and makes a come on motion with his hand. We're gonna stop it from happening this time. Leo looks to the left. But you fucking killed Janice. I hear the wolf's voice break slightly. Won't matter in the long run. The door rattles as someone comes in. You got the zip ties? Hands behind your back, Leo. Leo looks at whoever just came in. Come on. Now. Oh, that must be the guy. Slowly, Leo does as he's told, and I see a pair of massive paws reach forward to bind the wolf's wrists. I swallow hard as I watch Brian pull the zip tie tight. Duke puts a forearm to his nose. Fuck, you stink. I hope you didn't kill that ringtail. We could use him. Brian just grins in response, his teeth yellow. My heart sinks as I think about Clint. Had he been warning us to run? Why had I thought about him hanging from the tree like that was probably just a normal thing for him and the bear? Who's a victim of whatever crazy has just hit the town. That must have been what was going on. All of this is hitting at once. It can't be a coincidence. Clint is probably just as scared as I am now. Grab the otter, tie him up too. Just stick him in the trailer for now. My stomach drops. Duke gestures with his gun again. Come on, out. My legs are lead. I can't move. Leo looks over his shoulder at me, and the fear in his eyes scares me even more. His muzzle moves, mouthing something. Run. But still, I can't move. I've never been so scared in my life. It's like everything is numb. Brian doesn't care, though, and moves forward. The look on his face is eager. A gun goes off again. Everyone, including Brian, jumps, and I hit the floor with my hands over my head. Fuck. Fuck. I look up and see Duke, eyes extra wide, dancing around, pointing the gun upwards at the ceiling. Fuck, you see that? She's crawling around up there. I told you, she's on the ceiling every night watching me. Brian's looking up too, and for the first time, his face is twisted in an expression that isn't stupidly grinning. It's full of fear. When I look up, I see nothing. Chase! Leo hisses at me, and that jolts me back to reality. Without even willing myself to do it, I shoot out from under the table. In front of me are two exits, the front doors and the kitchen door, which is closer. There has to be an exit in the kitchen, but I'm not sure of that. My legs are already making me run though, and I have to choose now. Probably the kitchen, we could lose them there. I have no idea how long Duke will be distracted, so I dive behind the counter for my closest exit. Don't look back, Chase. Go as fast as you can. Shit, he's getting away, Brian. I push past the swinging door and immediately slip. One moment I'm standing, and next I'm laying on the ground, face stinging from the smack into the tile. I stare barely at the ground, force myself to move again, but it's still so slippery. At first, I think the tiles are just red, but then the overpowering metallic scent hits my nose. I realize it's more than that. Blood is everywhere, and now I'm covered in it. I sob, wondering when the nightmare is gonna end. When the paralysis hits me. Fuck, get her off me! I force myself to move because I need to get the fuck out of here, dream or not. I slip and slide along the tile, trying to stand, almost falling. I'd completely forgot about the potential murder in the back. I managed to grab the metal counter and yank myself up. And then I'm standing over the counter, and over what's on top of it. A pile of meat. I can see the fur, and its amount of unrecognizable parts. Butchered. Something cooks on the stove. My stomach churns, and I heave, but there's nothing in me to come up. The bang behind me forces me to turn to the right. I see the mountainous form of Brian charge through the door. He slips immediately, but his momentum still takes him forward, and he reaches out for me. Next thing I know is that I've been hit by a car, and I'm flying back. I stop short of hitting the ground, thanks to the wall behind me. My head still explodes. I just kind of want to roll back just in case there's a save thing. Skip. Kitchen. The darkness that surrounds me is painful. I feel like I'm floating in a black sea of nothing. About it is becoming comforting and peaceful. It's like a fitful doze when you have a really bad fever. It feels awful and murky and sick. I feel my head tilt back, and a lightning bolt arches through my head. I try to open my eyes, but they only manage to flutter, and I see flashes of red above me. Something is hooked under my back, and I'm dangling from it. I imagine a rope tied around me, holding me above the dark abyss below. Is this hell? I grit my teeth, as the searing red becomes too much to look at, and as I close my eyes again. Must be a nightmare. One that feels too real. Here's the thing. I thought that we were going to have a good ending, bad ending thing happen at some point, but I feel like we're kind of past that. Maybe that's in Janice's route, or Janine. I've had them before, and I know how to deal with them. Just need to go back to sleep, to drift off, and I'll be awake, back up in my bed. Go back to sleep, and wake back in my dorm. Wait, an echo? I try to think, try to prod back into my memories. Where was I last? What was the last thing I remember doing? Trying to remember is monumental, more than I can handle, and fortunately, I drift back into unconsciousness. I'm pulled back into this sickly dark as something jolts my body. I grimace and gasp. I'm filled with such a feeling of unprovoked loneliness and despair that I actually feel my eyes watering and sob escapes my mouth. I hear a soft chuckle above me and I go quiet. I still know where I am, or what's going on at all, but that laugh is enough to tell me that I don't want to be where I am. The feeling of a hanging rope is gone now. Instead, I'm lying on something flat, on hard, and my arms and legs are spread out. The air is cool now, and my skin is cold and wet, like I've been sweating a lot. The feeling is especially strong along my back, and I want to roll over, but I can't. Something is holding my arms down, and there's a rattling around when I try to move. I moan and try to open my eyes again, though it's almost like they're glued shut. With a little more effort, I manage to crack one open. At first, I see a blur of colors above me, and I blink a few times to clear it. Slowly, the image comes together. I'm able to make out that someone is there above me. I feel my blood run cold, freezing, and realizing that someone has been watching me this whole time. But I'm lying down. How is someone on the ceiling? I try to speak, but only a dry, cracking squeak comes to my throat. At this point, my vision is cleared enough to make out an otter. An otter? I squint. Blue shirt, beige pants. I gasp and reflectively try to draw back from the thing. Is it me? It smiles. It's missing my goatee. How? The flat surface I'm lying on tilts precariously, and my stomach lurches. I try to clutch at the surface, though there's nothing to grab onto. I shut my eyes and gag, as I feel my stomach swirling around inside me. All I can do is pray for it to stop, feeling like everything around me is about to fall over. The ache in my head is magnified tenfold, and tears start to leak from my eyes. Just then, I think I'm about to slip off the face of the earth. The ground starts to tilt back the other way. I swallow and gasp for air, my entire body shaking and sweating all over again. I feel like I've been swimming too long, and my body is exhausted. What the hell is going on? I remember someone was staring down at me from the ceiling. I open my eyes again, fearful. I think that might be a good time to call it, since that's a scene change. And stuff, and it looks like things are... Oof. I cringe as I see the same otter staring down at me. The otter that's exactly wearing the same clothes as I am, but is actually me. Fuck! I was seeing how things are going. I could have made predictions. Wasn't gonna be that Janice was going to, quote, make things right by butchering someone after killing them, I guess. And that, then she would have been murdered by Duke. And that Brian would be coming along and they'd be having some sort of I would say drug field trip, but you know, there's more going on in this town. I haven't progressed any farther from that one episode of the smoke room where we see the map where the Native American people are like, we're comfortable here, and there's this big exclusion zone around Echo, perfectly circled, and it's like, yeah, they knew in a certain respect that there is something not good about Echo. What is it? Dunno. Bugger. I do want to check the other thing just quickly. I'm just gonna read it, not actually do it. So wait, do we actually just leave? Do we actually get out? Okay, so I'm not actually going to read, I just kind of want to see if we're going to end up at the same scene. Okay, we're probably going to end up at the same scene. Yeah. I think well, I'm going to have a little bit of respite time. I'm going to read that on my own time. But yeah, end of this Let's Play. So please comment, guys, like, comments. Tell me what you like, dislike, tips, or co-wise. If you like my YouTube and like to grow, then please like, subscribe, and check out the rest of growing. Please remember to spam your animals have control the population. And if you want to play this game, free on itch.io. But if you want to support the people that made this game and are making others, Patreon. Oh, until next time, let's say, me, GamerWolfSix of Echo, a game about drugs, some sort of eldritch horror, mental breakdowns, just a lot of bad stuff. I was thinking that TJ was coming after us to be like, hey, Flint's after me. And then it's like, okay. And until next time, so thanks and see you.